if you live in.
Good evening. I'm Adriana Diaz. This is a CBS News special report. We are coming on the air live tonight, moments after shots have rung out at a rally where President Trump was addressing the crowd. Our Scott McFarland is there. I'm going to bring him in tonight. But the scene has been described as chaotic. Several shots were heard. President Trump hit the stage. Secret Service came in, and we're going to bring in Scott McFarland to let us know what he has seen and heard. Scott?
Adriana, it was a series of explosive sounds just about 5 minutes into the president's rally, the former president's rally here in Butler County, Pennsylvania. We saw the Secret Service rush the podium when the noises began, move President Trump, former President Trump, off the stage. And when he emerged, he appeared to have some blood somewhere near one of his ears. He raised his fist in defiance and moved with the Secret Service detail to some type of motorcade vehicle. And this rally has since ended. This was about 6:05 on the East Coast. The series of explosive noises shuddered through this crowd. So many of the thousands of people here went to the ground as law enforcement, what appeared to be some form of paramilitary or Secret Service detail, rushed to the left side of the stage behind former President Trump. They appeared to move someone or something out of the way. And now this crowd, this rally crowd, is departing. The former president has been moved off site. A series of explosive noises 5 minutes into the former president's rally here near Pittsburgh. He appeared to emerge defiantly with his fist in the air, but with some type of blood coming near one of his ears. We're working to get more information right now, but we can tell you this crowd is agitated. They are, at some point, defiant. Some are refusing to leave. Some are in tears. But this rally appears over, Adriana.
It looks like a chaotic scene there in Pennsylvania, Scott. Just horrific news. And this is a crowded area with, I'm sure, what was very heavy security. Scott, can you explain to me what kind of security people need to go through just to get to these fairgrounds?
You need to be screened to enter this area. We all had to go through magnetometers, had to have our bags checked, had to have our electronics checked. There is a visible Secret Service detail. You can see it in each corner of these fairgrounds in Butler County, Pennsylvania. I can tell you, when the series of explosives went off, some of us were confusing it for what would sound like firecrackers. But it was quite clear to the crowd immediately that there shouldn't be firecrackers going off here, and so many people took cover. We jumped beneath the rafters upon which I'm standing, which is behind the seated part of this crowd. Others just hit the deck, got into the grass. The former president was, you may see this better than me from the footage, removed by a Secret Service detail that seemed to pounce immediately. In fact, a lot of people were conflating this for firecrackers. It didn't go down until they saw the former president get rushed by his security detail. We can't speak to his condition right now. All we can say is he jumped back up, raised his fist in the air. The crowd cheered when he did, and he appeared to have some bit of blood on his head at the time.
Raised his fist in the air. We are all praying that he is okay. We understand the Secret Service has whisked him away in the motorcade. The FBI, we're told, is aware, but this right now, just as it's happening, is a Secret Service investigation. Scott, this comes as all eyes were really on this rally because we are just days before the Republican National Convention, and at any moment, the former president, was expected to announce his VP pick. So this was a significant rally, and, you know, at a time where there's been a lot of scrutiny, a lot of focus on who that could have been. We are getting in some commentary from J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio, who was one of the contenders for former President Trump's VP pick. He has written on X, "Everyone join me in praying for President Trump and everyone at that rally. I hope everyone is okay." It is a sentiment that we all echo. Scott, can you tell us what is happening now? We're seeing some pictures, likely from earlier, of a motorcade being taken out and security personnel in camouflage heading in with long guns, surely trying to secure the area.
I'm seeing another ambulance move in right now, Adriana. Pardon me as I look away, but I see another ambulance behind one of the rafters near where former President Trump was speaking. This crowd is 90% gone from the seating area. They've moved back behind us, and some of them in the direction of their cars or towards all the walking areas that got them the very long walk from the parking lots to the rally site. We see no shortage of medical units. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 fire truck or medical units nearby, a police detail keeping the crowd away from that area. To be clear, this is a heavily secured event. This is not just a hanging out at the county fairgrounds. You had to get wanded. You had to go through metal detectors. You had to go through a Secret Service protective detail to get into this site. And people were arriving here as early as 10 or 11 this morning. People were entering this area as early as 1 o'clock this afternoon. They've been screened, which begs any number of questions. I can also tell you it's worth noting the crowd, some of them are being particularly hostile. They're yelling in the direction at us, yelling in the direction of authorities, but they are emptying out. Rally's over.
It's incredible, Scott, how quickly that crowd emptied out. When we were talking just moments ago, it was packed, and now when we just saw you recently, you can see that that area has been cleared. I can hear the yelling behind you, Scott. No doubt this is a difficult, frightening moment for everyone who was there, everyone across the country who was watching, for their shots to have been fired toward the president. And at this point, it's too early to know exactly what happened. We saw him reach up and touch his head. We don't know if he was hit. We don't know if he was grazed. We don't know if someone else was hit. You just told us, Scott, that you saw an ambulance at the scene. But this is a moment that is going to change the trajectory of this campaign. Already, so much focus had really been on this campaign on the side of President Biden. Now we are talking about the unthinkable, potentially former President Trump on stage as shots ring out here in Butler County, Pennsylvania. Scott, can you tell us a bit of what you're seeing now? What are people yelling behind you?
He was raising his fist. No, they're yelling at us. Some of the members of the crowd are gesturing towards us and screaming vulgarities at the media. We're all in a row here on the rafters above the stage, above the seated area. But I could see police or law enforcement of some sort, Secret Service, state police or county police, moving the crowd out. They're getting everybody out of here, which raises a few possibilities, doesn't it, Adriana? That they have to collect some type of evidence or investigate some type of incident, some type of crime, if these were, in fact, gunshots. Or they're concerned about everybody's safety as people are now moving in aimless directions, bumping into each other, bumping into tossed equipment. There's a lot of debris around here, too. People just hit the ground. Chairs were toppled. We jumped beneath our elevated stage. Cameras and stands and tables fell on top of us. It was a chaotic moment. I don't think that's overstating it. Once everybody recognized 2 or 3 seconds in, these might be gunshots. It was a sequence, a fast sequence of explosions, as if somebody had lit off 10 or 12 firecrackers in a row. And it's easy to conflate firecrackers and some types of gun rounds. But once everybody recognized something was afoot here, when the Secret Service moved in to former President Trump, everybody recognized the severity of the situation. And there were people moving in different directions, running into each other, or just face planting into the grass or into the ground. And you can see, still, from my vantage point on the other side of this camera, people in tears, people hugging each other, people comforting each other. That's the scene in Butler County, Pennsylvania, where there was to be a marathon rally of former President Trump that only got 5 minutes in before this incident occurred.
Scott, what you're describing is horrific. This is the worst possible scenario at an event like this. Our politicians are supposed to be able to address the public in a safe environment, and that is why there is so much security, the security that you've described, people being wanded down, having their bags checked just to get into that area. And, we understand why tensions are so high, why people are so emotional there. This is really just, it's a tragic moment. And when you were there, when it happened, Scott, you mentioned it sounded like firecrackers.